Hi, everyone. This is Jules with Dropping Jules, and today I have a very special guest, DJ Thielen. He's ex MLB for the San Francisco Giants and my very good friend. So, welcome, DJ. How are you?
Hey, Jules. As I told you, I spoke this weekend, so my voice is a little raspy. So, but hang in there with me. I'll be good. I'll drop some jewels for you.
Definitely drop some jewels and get some honey. All right. So, guys, before we get started today, I just want to ask DJ, what's the best way for our audience or your fans to get a hold of you?
I would say like go. My Instagram is in the bio here in my name. Just go to my Instagram, and it's got a. You can literally click a button, and that's actually my personal cell phone. So you can just click the text button and just text me straight away. That's the best way.
Amazing, amazing. All right, guys, thanks for sharing that. And again, it's on the screen, and I'll make sure it's in the description box. So, DJ, tell me a little bit. I want to hear about how you got started playing baseball, your love for baseball, and then how you transitioned that into real estate. So, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, I think Jewel. So basically like I grew growing up. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, which I'm going to be at in another little over a week.
Okay.
But I'm going to be in Portland. My son's turning 29, so I'm going to be hanging with him and my cousin and my brother. But yeah, I mean, I grew up in Portland, and I growing up, I always had the dream of being a professional baseball player. In fact, in the third grade, I have a piece of paper. Kristen has it that I wrote Miss Harris' class. She said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I wrote down that I want to be a professional baseball player, blah, blah, blah. And so, I always tell people, we don't really realize. I found it when our mom died unexpectedly in 2010. And I found this piece of paper and I was so awestruck that it just,
Mm,
it like took the breath out of me. And my
mm,
brother was like, man, are you okay? And I just was so in awe that like something that I thought about and wrote down one time in the third grade.
mhm.
Now, clearly, I thought about it more than that, but like
Sure.
that's where it started, right?
Right,
And
right. That one
so,
thought. Hmm.
yeah, that one thought. So, grew up there, and grew up single mom, no dad in the mix. Had some minor abuse, had ADD, hated school, like no dad, angry.
Angry.
So yeah, and like I mean, I always loved people, but you grow up and you wonder why, you know like when I struck out, like, I'm busting a bat, right?
Right, right.
And so,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, and so I share that with people because a lot of you listening to this, right? We all grow up, like maybe you went through worse than I went through, maybe not as bad, but we've all been through some messed up stuff. And I
Yeah.
think we've all been through the mess. And I think that what I've come to know, Jewel, is that you can use your mess as your message,
Hmm.
and you can use and people don't really connect through your mess. They connect, or they don't connect with your success. A lot of times they connect with your mess. And
Hmm.
so I think that like sharing the story of all the chips, all the things that I had against me really helps me in going through that legitimately, really helps me relate and have compassion for other people that are
That's
going through challenges and struggles in their life, to be able to say, hey, listen, I totally get where you're coming from. I 100% understand where you're coming from. And so it helps me to really connect with people
mhm.
because of that. So I think that growing up, so I did that. Luckily, I was super talented because school was not going to be my path.
Right.
I
For
didn't
most
I
of us,
didn't I didn't have a career as a doctor. Let's
yeah.
just say that in the plans.
Mhm.
But luckily, my that athletic ability got me drafted. I was a San Francisco Giants sixth pick in 1991.
Awesome.
Climbed the ladder, was just on the verge of getting to the major leagues. Got to go to camp a little bit and through the journey and play with the big leaguers in camp in spring training. But you know, I was just on that cusp, and met a gal after a game. We hooked up. She got pregnant. Here comes my son. 29 years later, here I
Mhm.
am. And so, but life again. We're all, call it a curveball. Like we all have. I think, Julie, we all have points in life that like we hit the fork in the road,
That's right.
right? and it's in a lot of times, and it's like, okay, like I literally can look back and I knew that was a fork. And a lot of times we don't, but like I remember like, man, if I leave ball, because we didn't have a dad around. I mean, when we grew up, so I wanted to be the dad that I never had. So I was initially going to leave and go back, and just never went back. Raised him his whole life, coached him in all his sports, and now he's a little entrepreneur himself. But I think that so many times we can really use our mess that we went through to help inspire, encourage, and I guess give people hope in a world that people might be really struggling with something, or with self-doubt or belief or confidence or self-image or self-love and all these things. And so in a world where there's a lot of that going on, and you really don't know who to believe anymore on the internet, right? Like everybody looks famous. Everybody acts famous. Everyone's driving a Lambo, right? With AI now, it's like, even like you really don't know, right?
For sure.
So I think in a world like that, you just have to, just continue to keep going. I think the biggest thing, the biggest lessons that I took from baseball that I didn't realize at the time, because I was kind of a mental midget. I mean, you were for sure studious. I know. I don't even got to ask.
Studious and athletic. Athletic. I did play some sports, soccer, but I do want to interject and ask you about this. When you say people relate to your mess, it's so true. It brings out the vulnerability in you, and people are not just seeing you as this big MLB, but we all have struggles in our life, and you personally and myself as well, we've overcome it, right? So was there a key time in your life, or a pivot, like a focal point, like who made you change? You didn't have a dad, you had your mom, and she's amazing. Like who was that person for you?
My grandma.
Your grandma. Oh wow.
Yeah. Our grandma was full Italian from Italy, and she was the positive soul, like constantly sending us positive messages. When we're sleeping, we would wake up. I didn't ask her till we got older, but my brother and I would wake up, she's sitting back there smoking a cigarette, right? But she would have like the TV going with a pastor and all that. And we look back and we're like, "Non, like what was that about?" And she said, "I knew, even though you guys were sleeping, that it was putting good things in your head."
Oh my.
Well, that's how wise my grandmother was.
Yeah,
right?
amazing.
So my grandmother was literally like the backbone to our whole family. And she was the one that really was the, like, taught me about like positive thinking, taught me about faith, and all the things that allow us to be resilient, as we get older. Like, I learned from her.
That's amazing.
And my mom.
And your mom, yes. And then your mom was a pivotal, in your life as well. I'm glad to hear that grandma was too. Grandmas, they're wise. They're definitely wise. And playing that to get you the positive. Okay, so moving on, so you had the fork in the road. What did you choose?
Yeah. So, it's really like, I ended up at that fork, right? I've had a lot of forks in my life, but in that fork, Jewel, I decided I was going to take care of my son, make sure that he was okay. And I really, like, a lot of people want to see we always want to see the whole staircase, right? Yes. And we not only want to see the whole staircase lit up, but we want to jump it all at once.
Right.
And what I realized in life is that you're only going to see the next stair. It's one stair at a time. That stair lights up. I take a leap of faith. I take that step. And then and only then does that next stair light up.
Right.
Right. But we want to, like, a lot of times we want to see the whole, like, we want to know, well, if I do this, like in real estate, well, if I come into mentorship, how quick can I do my first deal? And it's like, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So,
yes.
but it's like people need to realize you're only going to see one stair at a time. So the faster that you can have faith, face your fears, and just do the stuff you got to do anyway.
That's right.
And right, and just take that leap. I mean, I didn't know what path my life was going to turn out. I just knew I need to be here for my son, and for right now, and because our dad wasn't. And so I think that too, a lot of times we can know what we want by what we don't want. So it's
Good.
kind of like, if I know I don't want to be this way, just do the opposite.
Correct.
If you just do the opposite of what you don't want, you'll actually get what you want.
That's
Right?
right.
So I think that's something that I've learned along the way too, is to just do the opposite of what you know you don't want. And it makes it pretty easy. But yeah, you just, you take that first step, and then really it's kind of like, I mean, having faith in God and in Jesus as I do, I used to battle, and I've actually never shared this on any podcast, but I used to battle with, is it positive thinking, or is it this? Is it Jesus? Is it God? Is it linking into that? And I honestly, like, I really battled with this in my early to mid 20s playing ball. It's like, which is it? And what I've come to know is that it's both. You need both. And I wish, I wish someone would have told me, listen, you have your physical, you got to take care of your body, right? I'll be 54 in August, but you got to take care of your body, right? Then you have your physical, you have your spiritual, which is very vital and important.
That's right.
And then you have your mental. And the mental is, I include energy. So your mental is the mental game, your energy, your thoughts, all of this kind of cumulative. And so if you think about it, if you take one of those three out, your life is not going to be great.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
It just isn't. And I shouldn't say that. You're not going to be performing at your highest and best version of you.
At your optimal.
That's really, you're not, at if for those people listening, they're like, man, I want to experience the best version of me. Not everybody does. And that's cool.
Yeah.
But for those that do, is you've got to get in alignment in all three of those areas.
Right.
And we see people that aren't in alignment spiritually, or maybe they're just evil. And bad things happen, and the consequences are severe. We've seen people that don't take care of their health, like my mom, retired April 1st, 2010 at 62 years old, died April 30th of a heart attack, and had a previous heart attack that she ate and basically didn't tell anyone and hid from all of us. So, and we found out from the autopsy. But so you got your health, you've got your physical, and then the mental game, right? Like when I get up in the morning, I go in the pool, have my Bible, I have my planner, I go outside, I have my time to myself, I do my gratitude, I listen to just positive prayers. I do my praying, I do my gratitude, and I swim, get my blood flowing, and then I watch some positive things, Ed Milet or something, and then I do my planning for my day, right? Get up early. So it's like, it's so important to have a really good morning routine.
Yes.
That sets I call it the Esther Hicks, which is do you know who Esther Hicks is?
I don't. I do the Miracle Morning. So
yeah, Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod, right? So very similar. So you set your vortex of happiness, vibration, thanking God, thanking the universe, thanking Allah, whatever you believe in, thanking the higher power for all the things that you want to see happen that day as if they've already happened.
Yeah.
And now your vibration is your look, because we see what we look for.
That's right.
So if you don't intentionally set your morning focused on good things and positivity and all the things you want to see happen that day,
Mhm.
all you're going to see is whatever you see.
That's right.
Right. And you got stuff like, all of us, especially in real estate, right? You have stuff coming at you like this,
Yes,
like
yes.
all day long.
All day
And
long.
it's like, oh my God, right?
Mhm.
So like you really have to start your day in the right vibration. I
Yeah.
do, like, at least for me,
Mhm.
that really, really centers me and
Yes.
gets me started off in a happy, in a like a clean space.
Yes.
And you know, and so that's something that I do that has really helped me tremendously.
I love that you say that because for myself as well, doing the miracle, whatever your morning routine is, it really sets your day and it's intentional, right? Because if you don't, whatever comes your way, that's going to be your plan for the day. So you really need to be intentional with your time because that's finite.
Oh, 100%.
Mhm.
100%.
Yes. So you
What
do
else
your
you got for me?
So you do your morning routine, you did the fork in the road, and I'll jump back to that. I think that was the best decision. You choosing not to have your son live without a father. I mean, I'm sure you can't recreate that, right? And we know, I mean, from the losses that we've had, that those memories and the time that you were there for your son, there's no amount of money. I mean, whatever you would have made in baseball could ever repay for the time you spent with him. And look at him, successful entrepreneur. He's doing the shoes and something else. I mean, you can share about that, but I think I know that's the best decision that you've made. So, and I'm sure you don't question it.
And we
Um,
don't, and Julie, a lot of times, and this goes for life,
mhm,
as well as real estate,
mhm,
especially in real estate,
mhm.
right? Like, people will try something,
Mhm.
they'll try it,
Try
all
it.
try it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
If you're not committed and you don't go all in,
Mhm,
like in anything in life,
mhm,
it's like, I mean, if I told you, I've been coaching for 10 years, if I told you the amount of people that, and now I don't even work with them, right? I don't even let them in the door. But
mhm,
ultimately, it's like, yeah, I want to do this, and, I'll give it a try. And, I went through this course and I went through this, and you start looking at the pattern. They went through this course and went through that course and went through this course. And more than likely, if they didn't do a deal, they didn't do the
mhm.
work, period,
The work period. Okay.
period.
Yes.
Like, that's just a fact. And so a lot of times, you know, people, what I see is people think that the problem is external.
Okay.
I
Okay.
need more leads. I need
Mhm,
better leads. I
mhm,
need to do a deal. We hear this a lot, right?
mhm.
I just need to do a deal.
Yeah.
Dude, you will never do a deal if you don't fix what's between here,
Amen. Yeah. So true.
right?
True. Yes.
And you got to fix. And so it's be, do, have. Most people want to think that they can come in, not
Mhm,
work on the inner game,
mhm, mhm.
and they go do a deal, and they go and they do, and they want to have like that,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Mhm,
And it's like, it's a day after day, week after week, month
right.
after month, year after year. And
Mhm,
if you can do that
mhm,
in the real estate space for 5 to 10 years, and you
mhm.
look up, man, you will be in a really good space.
Yes.
But it really takes time. I mean,
It
it
does.
doesn't take 5 years. I've helped people do 31 deals in a year, but I'm just saying, like,
Mhm,
it's like, you gotta commit,
mhm.
you gotta go all in on something,
Right.
because if you're giving yourself any leeway in
Mhm,
anything you do in life of
mhm,
an out,
mhm,
that, you know, I just said this at the event I was at.
mhm.
We grow up in life in the school system, which I'm not a fan of, but we grow up in life and in the system,
Mhm.
and if we fail, like, what happened to you when you were young if you failed in school?
Oh, you're looked down as a loser. It wasn't like, hey, pick it up and what did you learn from it? And I agree with you. The school system makes you, it takes away your
Or you
creativity.
got, like in my house, that's why my fingers crooked. But like, my mom would
Mhm.
freaking go ham on us,
Oh yeah.
like metal spoon, right? Like
Yeah.
crack. And
Yeah.
like, or you would get in trouble in some form.
Sure.
So kids now, we
Hmm.
have all these people that grew up in a system that taught us if you fail, you're in trouble.
That's right. Yes.
So it's no wonder that people are scared and fearful, because subconsciously they anchor, man, if I do something and I fail, then it equals what? Trouble or pain.
It's pain. It's pain,
It
right?
equals pain.
Correct.
So if I do this and I fail, it equals pain. So I would rather not even try.
Right.
And this is, or
Right.
it's more of a it's more of a self-sabotage, right? That's a whole nother talk. But that's what I see with people, right? It's like, just face your, listen, people don't, more information, if it was about more information, like, it's not about more information. It's
everyone would be rich and skinny.
Everyone would be rich and skinny.
Hey, tell her come say hi. Tell her come say hi.
Yeah, Kristen, I'm on with Julie. So, but everyone would be. We're on a podcast. Yeah, you can say hi. Come in.
Come on in.
Hi,
there
ladies.
It's you.
Dropping Jules. Let's
Dropping
go.
Jules, and we're gonna have you on next. I was just telling him.
Let's
for
go.
Sure. Let's go. See ya.
So, but you know, a lot of times I tell people, like, listen, you don't need, you need the right information, but you really need instruction. You need a mentor to go, dude, do this, and do this. Don't do anything else.
That's right. That's
right. And you need instruction. You need someone that's been there and been down the road to say, turn left here, hit the straightaway at 100, and then turn right on this road. And right, it's like, it's so important for people to understand that, a good mentor will literally, it's the biggest mistake I had. I mean, it's how I learned a lot of the jewels that I have now and know, but oh my God, like, if someone said, like, knowing what I know now, when I start out, if someone said, dude, it's $100,000 to save 19 years, I can show you how to get there in 1 year.
Yes.
Where you would be in 20 years.
Yeah.
I would find the money. Like, I swear to God, like, knowing what I know now, if I could, what's it called? Where you jump forward, right? You accelerate.
You accelerate your life. Yeah. You fast forward into the future.
Yeah. It's called I'll think of the name of it. But essentially, it's like collapsing. We call it collapsing decades into days.
Wow. Okay. I love that.
Right.
Term. Yes.
And I think that's just the shortcut.
Yes, for sure. So staying on this topic, which is amazing. So you've been a coach for a long time in the real estate space. Well, actually, let's go back and tell us how you got into the real estate space. And I'll put a pin right here to come back to this. What made you get started into real estate?
I sold the company in 2005. I had a little money, and I just wanted to, I was intrigued with real estate. And so, I grew up watching like Carlton Sheets and all the old school stuff, right? Like the old school. So, but that was it. Like, I was always intrigued, and my mom never owned a home. I was never, we're on definitely the poorer side of the tracks. And, like, I just was always intrigued by it. And so when that happened, I knew a friend, and he said, hey, I know a guy that can get you houses really cheap, in different parts of the country. So I bought 10 homes for $50,000. That was my first experience. 10 homes for $50,000 total.
Wow.
Yeah. And the guy was like, they just need carpet and paint. And I fly out to Pennsylvania, Ohio. The first one was in Ohio. And I fly out there, and the house is torn down. I call the guy, his number's disconnected. I was like, oh my God, here we go, right? Like, imagine buying 10 homes thinking you're going to make all this money, and half of them are torn down, and the others were just beat to what. So, but that was my first experience.
Paint and carpet.
Paint and carpet. Yeah. Yeah, just throw some paint on it. But going back to what makes people successful is most people in that circumstance, they have a little bit go wrong, and they're like, they want to pull the ripcord. I'm like, dude, don't freaking pull the ripcord, right? Like, I say, oh, you know what? Real estate just isn't for me.
Right.
And right. And so luckily I was used to failing 7 out of 10 times coming from the baseball world.
Yes.
So like if I could win, you know, 3 out of 10 times, I'm like winning in my mind. So like
Right.
to me, it was like, dude, that's just that all that is a strikeout. I
Mhm.
still have 10 more at bats.
Right.
So to me, I looked at it that way. I picked up the pieces, I made the best of it, which is what we have to do as entrepreneurs, right? And
Yes.
then yeah, just made the best of it and sold them off. And then I just started kind of from there and started building. And yeah, 20 years later, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yes. So, good segue into what your current mentorship is, if you want to chat a little bit about that, and then that's where I'll ask the questions about people who.
Yeah. So, I mean, Julie, I met you because through owning properties,
That's right.
right? And that's how you and I met. And but I say that to say um, that, fast forward 20 years, we've sold over
Mhm.
4,000 properties. We own a bunch. We help other people. So we've got two things that we do really
Mhm.
is we have a turnkey operation in Western PA, Eastern Ohio, that we really like. Our superpower is helping out of state owners get deals. We get them for them, we fix them, we run them, we manage them. We do
Mhm.
everything A to Z. And so, that's been really good because listen, when you have a business,
Mhm.
you got to have a business that you provide. I tell my son, listen, don't give discounts, add more value.
That's right. I love that. Yes.
Right? Don't
Yeah.
give discounts, add more value. So
Mhm.
instead of just saying, oh yeah, we're getting you a deal or wholesaling you a deal or whatever, like,
Mhm.
hey, we're going to get you the deal. We're going to
Mhm.
fix it at a great price and fix it great. We're going to rent it for top dollar and then we're going to manage it well for you. Right. And
Yeah.
so I think like because we add so much value
Mhm.
that um, you find a need and fill it.
That's right.
Right.
Mhm.
And so we have the turnkey operation that we help out of state owners build turnkey portfolios in cheap markets, which is awesome and really obviously even more popular now than ever.
That's right.
And then what's that?
I said that's right. It's more popular. We try to
Yeah,
keep it a little secret, but yeah, it's getting out.
yeah. And then we have a little over a year ago, I helped a guy. I never really, Julie, like shown anyone like behind the curtain.
Mhm.
Like where like all like exactly how we get our deals, how we source them, how we flip them to investors, how to find the investors, how to have a cash buyer conversation, like everything that we do.
Mhm.
I never unveiled to anyone out of my organization ever.
Mhm.
So we met this guy Kristen met at an event, and he was in Ohio, right, the Youngstown Warren area, named
Yep.
Eric.
Okay.
And I took yeah, had a talk with him. He wanted some guidance. I gave him some guidance. He goes, dude, I need to hire you as my mentor. I don't
Mhm.
care what it costs. And so I worked out a deal, took him under my wing, and he had done one deal, Julie.
Mhm.
It was a like JV deal,
Okay. Mhm.
and he made like $2,500 in like almost a year.
Okay. Oh.
What I didn't know was where he was at in life.
Mhm.
And so when I helped him do his first two deals, he made about 30 grand,
Mhm.
well, more than that. But he called me. He was crying. He was choked up. He was like, dude, you changed my life forever. And that was really the turning point for me with Kristen was like, babe, that's it.
Yeah.
This is what you have to do. Right. Like this
Mhm.
is, and so basically I decided to create coaching and mentoring specifically around cheap homes, and I
Mhm.
created Cheap Homes University,
Love
which
it.
is how to get rich with cheap homes, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so yeah, so mentoring people on how to do that, and that's grown over the last year,
Mhm.
and is booming and rocking. And so and I think those of you that are watching this, right? Like there's two ways if you're interested in getting some help or guidance that we can help. One is if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a pro athlete, if you're making a significant amount of money, like then we can help you build your portfolio without any of your time, right? Focus on what you're doing, making money. Let us help you to build a portfolio without any of your time. And now that will offset the tax you have to pay from we call it, the fast money. So the slow money will offset the fast money, the tax. So that's, one thing. Or if you're somebody that has like tried a few things, or maybe you really put your all into it, and like you just really believe and feel like that, just like I did everything they told me and it just didn't work.
Right.
But you really want to crack the code in the real estate game. I think the cheap homes, affordable housing is the number one sector right now. I think I think it's bigger than apartment buildings. I think it's bigger than anything. And look, it's super low risk. If you can learn how to buy a home for $5,000 and sell it and be the bank for 25 or 30 and make a 400% return or 600 or whatever, like, it's like, what's the risk in that?
What's the risk?
Right?
Yes.
It's really, really, really low.
Yeah.
So those are the things, the main things that, we help people with
a cheap home university. And one thing, when we chatted about it, you purposely kept this mentorship smaller. And can you share why you did that when we chatted about it?
Yeah. I think a lot of mentorships, they just want, it's volume, right? They want to roll through as many people as they can and kind of like, here's our coaching, here's our training. Whoever does the work and wins, and whoever doesn't, whatever, right?
Sure.
And for me, like, while I do understand that people have to do the work, I enrolled 20 people, had 20 people in like maybe 45 days, and I capped it at 20 and said, I'm only going to work with these 20 for the first year because, one, I want to work out any kinks, and two, I think a lot of coaching programs create a lot of codependency. So it's like, you just go do this and we'll do everything else, right? Hey, you go get a deal and we'll sell it for you. And what I tell people, I go, dude, if you want to do that, don't hire me.
Right. Don't bother me.
I'm just, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I want to preface that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If somebody wants to build a real sustainable business, that's not the way to go.
Sure.
If they just want to make a little money, leave their job and kind of do that. But if you want to build a sustainable business, you need to learn how to get the deals, how to fix them, how to renovate them, you need to learn every aspect of this business, in my opinion. And so what I did was enroll 20 people. And yeah, I mean, Rob did 22 deals in his first year, made, I don't know, $300,000-400,000 grand. But here's the crazy thing. He works 80 to 90 hours a week and owns 2 companies. Oh, wow. So he's doing this. Did 22 deals, right? Eric, did Postlethwaite. He did 31, kept, I want to say 10 or 11, and he didn't have any rentals before.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And so, and then Amanda and Jeremy Ray, love them. They did, probably made almost 700 grand. Chris Fontenot helped him, leave his job in the oil and gas business. But the most rewarding thing, Jewel, is like really knowing, like, dude, if you work with me and you do exactly what I tell you, I have zero doubt that you're going to get the same results.
You're going to crush it.
Yeah, because I keep it simple. But again, our real niche, if somebody's watching this and they're in a cheap home market, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, somewhere you can buy home cheap, I can try to crush everybody.
Right.
Right.
What, I'm sorry, what I like about your students, the hand holding, right? So, going back to what you talked about with the school system where people don't want to fail when they come and they find a coach like you and you're holding their hand and you're showing them, you're giving specific instructions because there are two types of people who are visionaries and people who want the step by step, like you said, turn left, okay, accelerate, do this. And you do that for your people. And I think that's why they're succeeding. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I would rather have people that like, hey, is it going to be more than maybe other ones out there? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is it the cheapest? No. And I don't want to work with those people anyway. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to premium prices, premium clients.
That's right.
Like I want to know, and I tell people, if you don't make at least 10 times whatever you invest, and there's different options.
Sure.
For different people. But if you don't make at least 10 times whatever you invest,
mm-hmm.
absolutely don't hire me again for the next year.
Don't hire me.
Period.
Right.
Like I tell them that. But my goal is to create a community of people that's like, I tell people, if I make you 10 to 20 times or more,
mm-hmm.
whatever you invest,
mm-hmm.
stay with me.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Stay with me for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I want. And I think for me, I get more joy out of working with a more tight-knit group. Like we
mm-hmm.
talked about, if you go to an event
mm-hmm.
and there's 3,000 people,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get to meet people.
You meet people.
But if you ever go to a high-level mastermind on a yacht with Eric Spotiford or something like that, and
mm-hmm.
there's 15 or 20 or 30 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh damn. Like
Yeah.
the connections and the relationships that you meet at that. And
mm-hmm.
so I kept it very exclusive and very tight and very
mm-hmm.
small
mm-hmm.
for that reason, so
sure.
people can get the one-on-one help that they really need.
I love that. Yeah. And I see a lot of that where people are struggling. They pay for these mentorships and they don't get the help that they need, right? So you watch these courses and you think you're going to be a wholesaler or a fix and flipper, and you need that hand holding. You really do. That's the part that's missing from a lot of these.
Oh, 100%. I mean, when they can call me and they have a deal, you're doing real estate deals. You've done real estate deals. You know a lot about real estate. Every deal is different.
Yes.
Right. And I'm telling you, Jewel, like doing this for 20 years and over 4,000 deals, like
mm-hmm.
I still run into stuff once in a while where I'm like, damn, that was really cool. Cause I've never ran into that. Like, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But like this happened. Hey, this lady owned it with her son and the son died and they didn't have a will.
Yes.
What are most people gonna say? Sorry, man, you got to go get an attorney and
mm-hmm.
pay all this money and have it maybe never happen. Right. It's like, oh no, I can show you exactly how to navigate that water.
That's right.
Right. So like, and that's really where when they can have access to me and my team
mm-hmm.
to, my team, Crystal, right,
mm-hmm.
is a rock star, Josette, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I think for me, I've done a really good job surrounding myself with really high level women
mm-hmm.
that mostly all women, right? Except Julia and now Kyle. But I've done a really good job surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me in that specific area because I've lost the ego. Like I have no ego.
You didn't include Eleanor.
Didn't include Eleanor. Yeah. Shout out to Eleanor.
That's right. She is our
oh
girl.
My God. You're hilarious.
I know. I was waiting.
It's really, you're crazy. You're funny. Oh my God. But I think that if she sees this, she's gonna love that. But I think that Jewel, that if you can, right? I know that a lot of people don't have that, but if you can find someone that you can work intimately with in an intimate group in a smaller setting, like I'm just telling you, you're gonna go further faster.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you just are. And I've seen it. That's why I only enrolled 20 to go, hey, I want to see these results that I just shared on here, right?
Yes.
Like these people were not doing. Eric did one deal. Rob hadn't done any deals. Amanda and them had some success. I helped them buy a mobile home park on seller financing. So I've really mastered like the cheap home market, how to get properties on seller financing, how to properly frame that conversation, how to sell it, how to pitch it, how to get them on your side of the fence and
Yes.
understand like the benefits to them.
Mhm.
And we have people all the time, oh, I don't want to do seller finance. And by the time we're done talking to them, they're selling it on seller financing.
Yes.
Right.
That's
So
awesome.
it's this, Jewel. I'll wrap with this in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
You got it. When you change the way that you see things,
Mm-hmm.
the things you see change.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you understand this principle, right? This is like my motto. It should be on my wall. When you change the way you see things, the things you see change. So a lot of times people say, well, they don't want to sell it on seller finance. Well, how do you know? Because I asked them. Dude, you have to change the way, you got to change the lens. You got to change the way that they're looking at what seller financing is. They really don't know, right? So there's order takers and there's high level closers, right? I try to get my people that I mentor and coach in my team, of course. I try to get them to be high level closers. A high level closer is going to convert. They're going to be able to influence. They're going to be able to confidently show the person and reframe the way that they look at seller financing so that they see it in a different light. And now it's like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, if that's how that works, I would be open to that. How does that work? What are, so it's really like understanding that the high level sales, when you're in this real estate game, everything we do is sales. Property management, you're selling the owners, you're selling the tenants, you're right. You're dealing with code, you're selling them. Like everything is sales.
That's right.
So the first skill that I would implore every single person watching this to really go hard on is, and this is what I teach, right? Obviously that people mentor, like really high level sales, not like the asking the car questions and right, like a car lot.
Yeah.
But like really understanding how to create a heart connection, how to build rapport, how to get to the why, how to really uncover the why, and all the things that are actually important when you're selling. I think one and two, you've got to, it all comes down to, Jewel, Chris and I talk about all the time. The people that I played with that had the best major league careers, I won't name them, right? Average talent, average size, average speed, average arm. Like, seriously, I swear to God. So how did these guys play for 10 years, 11 years, 12 years? The answer is this. The people that perform at the highest clip have a delusional belief that they're actually better than they are. So if all of you listening can understand this one principle, it'll change your life. The level that you believe that you can achieve something is the level that you actually will achieve or you won't achieve it, right? If there's any doubt, like you've got to literally have this delusional belief, like, I'm gonna make $1 million this year. I'm gonna make 10 million, whatever that, I'm gonna build a $100 million business. I'm gonna build $1 million business. I'm gonna make $100,000 the next 3 months and leave my job, right? And you've literally got to like convince yourself that it's true, because you're going to have family, you're going to have friends, you're going to have loved ones, you're going to have people around you that aren't doing anything with their freaking life, and they're going to try to be the crabs in the pot and try to pull you down to keep you from living your best life. You got to block all of it out, and you've got to zone in and literally be like Andy, right? Gave me this, right? Him and his team actually. But like Andy says, you gotta be a little psycho. Like when I was on his podcast, dude, I'm just a little psycho, right? And you got to be a little bit like almost delusional.
Yes.
That people look at you and they're like,
This is
dude,
good.
who do they think they are
Love
that
that.
they think they're gonna go off and build this big business? Man, right? Let the haters hate,
Mm-hmm.
but the only way that you're ever gonna be wildly successful is you got to be so delusional to believe that not just that you can't look at yourself as where you are now. You have to look at yourself as your best version of you.
That's right. Okay.
Like, right? And I think once you do that, it just pulls you forward.
Yeah. I love that. So someone just starting out brand new to real estate, not sure if to dive in, what would be your advice?
Hire me.
I love it.
I mean, no, honestly, that's not the real answer. But so I think so. So here's what I try to do, Jewel, when I coach people is I'd say, listen, 1 year from now, okay, specifically from a passive income standpoint and an active income standpoint, every month, what do you want that to be?
Okay.
Specifically, active income and passive income. If it's your perfect world, well, I want, everyone says 10 grand. I want to be making 10 grand a month actively or passively. Well, how about both? Okay, cool. Now you got a target and you got a specific time that you set that target. So December 31st, 2025, I will be making that. Now you have a target. So one, you got to start with a clear target, right? So not everybody wants the same thing. Some people just want to leave their job. But you got to if you want to leave your job and you want to start wholesaling or whatever, what does that look like? Like specifically by this time, maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months, you give yourself a time and you give yourself a crystal clear target that aligns with your goal. So if someone says, I want to be making 10,000 a month or I want to leave my job like Chris Fontenot did. But he's going out and buying rentals. I'm like, no, dude, no more rentals. You need to stack up 100 to 150K, either flipping or wholesaling, because he was already doing some flips successfully. You need to go harder on that and lock in on that and stack up, because the goal is not to have rentals. The goal is to leave your job.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So you can have more time with your kids. And he was driving 1 hour and a half to work and an hour and a half back.
Oh, wow.
Getting up at 4 a.m, like crazy story. Long story short, he was going to leave his job December 1st. He left his job October 10th. I think it was October, almost 2 months sooner. Right. And like, and obviously he and I, I'm grateful for him. He's grateful for me. But I say that to say, you got to get crystal clear on a target. And then you have to only focus and put blinders on and not get shiny object syndrome. And you got to laser in on the strategy or strategies that are going to get you to that goal. And it's like, I want to make $10,000 a month passively. Well, don't go flip and don't go wholesale.
Right.
If that's the real goal, then find strategies that you can use that are out of the box, like we teach. And you can do slow flips, they call it. You can do buy on seller finance, sell them on seller finance. There's a lot of things you can do. A lot of people don't know. But whatever that goal is, you got to be doing strategies that align with that goal and throw everything else out the window.
I love it. Yeah. Laser
focus.
Agree? I agree. Laser focus, right? And having that clear target, it's key. So, and then taking the risk, right? You're not going to learn anything if you don't jump in and just do it. I know a lot of people
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of people get that analysis paralysis. I know I was there and just wanted to study and get the knowledge. And until I just dove in, and then you find out, because like you said, no deal is the same, right? You're still learning. You've been doing 20, 25 years and you're still finding things that come up. So you're not going to learn it all, and just seek on the people that can help you, like yourself, a mentor like you, and a coach, which I love. And you have a heart.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
Yeah. And I'll share this, Jewel.
Yeah.
If I was trying to look for something, I don't have a baseball bat. I have a baseball somewhere. But Someone, I heard this recently. It's golden. They talk about a jewel. This is a jewel.
Okay.
Is they said if you've never played, like for you, right? If I put a baseball bat in your hands, how much is it worth?
Nothing. I'll make firewood or something. No, it's not worth
If,
anything.
yeah. If the bat costs, well, the bats are expensive now, but the bat costs $100, and we put the bat in your hand, and you never play bait, it's worth $100.
Right.
But if you take that same bat and you put it in the hands of Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Barry Bonds, now it's worth hundreds of millions.
That's right.
It's the same bat. So what's the difference? It's whose hand is the tool in.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Oh, I love that.
This is the same thing with coaches, right? It's like finding someone that's. I tell people, dude, if you get a coach, listen to me. They have to have done at least 100+ deals, hopefully hundreds or thousands. They have to have been in the game for an extended period of time, preferably multiple markets, the ups and the downs.
Ups and the downs, the cycles.
Yeah, and you just have to like them. You have to be aligned with them. Like, hey, I like this person. They're my vibe. We're aligned, right? And so I think that's the best way to find a mentor.
Yes.
And whether it's Pace, whether it's Eric Klein, whether it's me, whether it's whoever, right? Like it's like you have to find someone that you jive with and that you feel confident is going to get you the result you want to get.
That's right. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Oh my God, so much Jules. I mean, you're welcome. This is all you. So the platform is yours. I love what you talked about. Your grandma was an inspiration in your life. I love that. Thank you for sharing and being so vulnerable and sharing that with us. And we see where people see you like, oh, DJ is this guy, but they don't know the struggles that you had and the things that you had to go through and the life that you lived to become this person and the mindset, the people, your spiritual, your health, and doing it consistently, right? So if you just do that consistently every day, the little bit, it's what's going to take you further. I love that you said that people, want to know about the messes in your life because they relate to it and they can relate to you as a person, because we've talked about it numerous times that real estate is a relationship business and the heart that you have for people. I love that. And sharing about the fork in the road, deciding to leave MLB, biggest, going into the major leagues and choosing your son every day. I'm sure that has been the best decision, being a father, because you didn't have one in your life. So thank you for sharing that. What else? All the jewels. Oh my gosh, there was plenty. So guys, listen, whoever listening to this, play it back and listen and take notes and reach out to DJ.
Can I have one more, Jules?
Oh, you have as much. Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So so listen, if for those people that are watching this, right? I learned this from a mentor of mine, actually, is that completely changed my life. And he asked me one time, he said, it was Brandon Dawson, Grant's partner. And Brandon said to me, he goes, who's your best client? And we're having coffee. We were in Beverly Hills one day. And he goes, and I said, I don't know, like my brother, like this person, that person. He's like, no, who's your best client? He kept asking me. I was like, dude, what do you say, right? And so he said, your best client are your current clients. And I was like, it clicked. It was like, oh man, right? And so like sometimes, we have to do things that are like when you're building a business, you've got to take such good, you and I are the same like this. You've got to take such good care of your clients that you can generate repeat business. It's a healthy business has a lot of repeat clients. If you're constantly having to go out and look for new clients and get new clients, you're literally like costing yourself so much money. You have no idea. And so this is why I tell people when you're in the real estate space, right? Learn the best thing, in my opinion, learn how to control the whole deal. I want to go direct to seller, right?
Sure.
and get the deal, because now I have a relationship with this seller that might have 5 or 10 or 20 more houses that I can eventually buy those and flip those. I want to go direct to the buyer. So I have the relationship with the buyer so I can get that repeat business.
I love
Because
that.
a lot of people that are JVing, while it's fine, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. What they don't realize is that if that's my buyer and you don't know them and they want to buy 20 more properties this year, like, or if it's your buyer, that's the difference between you selling one deal and 20 deals to one investor.
Wow.
Right? Right. If you think of it that way. And so like you've got to value your clients, and you've got to do things that like, not everyone, when you have a company, not everyone is going to be in agreement. And sometimes you're going to have to make really hard decisions, but you just have to do what you feel is best for you and your business and your clients. And you've got to really love your clients to the point that like, they don't even want to deal with anyone else.
I love that.
Right. And I think if you can build a business on that, that's where you're going to thrive.
Yes. I love that. So, being able to retain them. And again, it has to do with you as a person. Why would they want to work with you versus somebody else? So it's something that you're offering. And like you said, always adding value, not providing a discount, but adding value. I love that. So
there's free pool people. We learned this from Myron Golden.
Yeah,
there's free pool people, the people that want everything for free. There's cheapo people, which are the people that want everything cheap. Right? Yes. And there's pre-pool people, which are the premium people, premium clients, premium prices.
I love that.
Right? You want to be you don't want to work with the free pool people that want everything free. You don't want to work with the cheapo people that want everything cheap. You want to work with the pre-pool people that are willing to pay a premium price for a premium service.
Yes.
Because in business, if you're not making margin and you're not massively profitable, right? Like, now you don't have the resources to do things to take care of clients like we've done. Oh, hey, we'll pay that tax bill for $1,900. Sure. You didn't know about it. It's fine. You're going through a lot. We got you. They're like, what? Are you serious? And they cry, right? Like, if you have margin, you can do things that are out of the ordinary to take extraordinary care of your clients. And those are the things that I always try to teach and tell people. Like, don't do a wholesale deal and make $5,000. Right. I'm telling you, it's the worst thing you can do. I just affirm, because now you're once you get used to doing that, then it's like, oh man, well, I made 5 on man, if I can just make 6. I had this happen to Rob. He goes, man, if I can just make 10 grand on this, I'm golden. I'm like, dude, you're making 40. And the investor is getting a steal with you making 40. And I showed him, and he was like, oh my God, swear to God, true story. He netted $29,500 on a deal. He probably might have made 10 grand
on the assignment.
It's the mindset. This is why you need a mentor and a coach. They can get you to believe and see that you have more value than you really think you have.
Love that.
Right?
Yes. Yes. Wow. Wow. A lot of jewels, DJ. I really, really appreciate that you're here. We have to do this again. I would love to have you on again. And I want to thank you so much for your time. So if you're listening, you're welcome. You're welcome. If you're listening, guys and gals, this is his IG at d.j.thielen. He has a heart of gold, and you have his personal number. I mean, once you get it, he'll reach out and he will help you in a way he can. And, anyone that's struggling, please reach out to him. Anything else you want to share, my friend?
No, you know me. I could go another hour with you, so I better shut up.
We'll do it. We'll save it for another one, part two. Part two. Yes. So, guys, thank you so much for watching Dropping Jules. Everything will be in the description with his link. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, my friend DJ, for coming on.
Thank you so much, my friend.
You're welcome.